The girl in the smoke. The station was dying. The lights were flickering. Fire danced along the broken metal walls. The alarms had gone silent, replaced by the low hum of something not human. Ash floated in the air like dead snow. It was hard to breathe. Commander Ryan Hale limped through the corridor, blood on his hands, smoke in his lungs. His suit was torn. His helmet was cracked. He should have died. Maybe he already had, and this was some kind of slow dream before death. Everyone else was gone. Station 9, once a proud outpost on the edge of human space, had been attacked without warning. No signals, no demands, just fire and silence. Ryan turned the corner and stopped. There was someone standing at the far end of the hallway. Small, thin. A girl. She was trembling, barely able to stand. Her skin was covered in soot and her clothes were torn like paper. Long silver hair stuck to her face. Her eyes were wide, afraid, but not empty. He raised his weapon, just in case. "Who are you?" he asked. No answer. He stepped closer. The girl flinched and stepped back. Her legs shook like she couldn't feel them. "I'm not going to hurt you," Ryan said, lowering the gun. "You're safe, do you understand me?" The girl's lips moved. No words came out. She looked around like a lost animal, like she didn't know where she was, or maybe even what she was. Ryan reached into his jacket. It was warm, covered in dust but still dry. He took it off and slowly moved forward. The girl froze, watching his every move. When he gently placed the jacket on her shoulders, she didn't stop him. She looked down at it. And then, she cried. Not just tears. Real sobs, deep and painful, like her chest would break open. She covered her face and dropped to her knees. Ryan stood there, confused. She wasn't a soldier. She wasn't even dressed like someone from the station crew. So how was she here? The girl looked up, eyes red. "They're coming," she whispered. "What?" Ryan asked, kneeling next to her. "Who's coming?" She shook her head. "Not safe. Nowhere is safe." Ryan looked around. The hallway was collapsing. Metal creaked. Fire was chewing the floor. "We have to move," he said. "Can you walk?" She nodded slowly, like her body didn't believe her. Ryan helped her up. She leaned on him, still shaking. She was cold, way too cold for someone alive. As they walked, she spoke again. "They took me. I don't know from where, I don't remember. I saw your face. In a dream." Ryan stopped. "My face?" She nodded. "They said, the human heart is dangerous, but I don't think they understood." "What do you mean?" "I think they were afraid." The ceiling above them cracked. Something huge moved in the shadows. Ryan pulled her forward. "We'll talk later. Right now, we survive." They made their way through the broken halls of Station 9. Ryan had trained for war, for space, for silence, but not for this. This girl wasn't just some random survivor. Something else was happening here. Something bigger. He looked at her again. She was still wearing his jacket, still holding it tight, and somehow in all this death and fire she looked human. Too human. Ryan didn't have all the answers. He didn't even have the right questions yet. But one thing was clear. She didn't come here by accident. As the two figures disappeared into the smoke, the shadows behind them moved. Eyes opened. Machines buzzed. The girl was right. They were coming. Stranger among us, the desert moon was quiet. Too quiet. A red sun hung low in the sky like a bleeding wound. Dust storms howled across endless dunes, and broken satellite dishes poked out of the sand like old bones. Somewhere, far beyond the horizon, a scavenger ship crawled through the air, slow, searching. Ryan Hale watched it from behind a shattered rock wall, shielding the girl with his body. She was still wearing his jacket, still silent, still trembling, but less now. He didn't know what was worse, the enemy ship or the questions in his head. "Why were you even on Station 9? He asked. She didn't answer. "Are you human?" A long pause. "I don't know," she said finally. Ryan frowned. "That's not the kind of thing people usually forget." She looked down. "They didn't want me to know, so they took it away." "Took? What away?" "My past, my name, everything." Her voice was soft but clear, like a broken radio trying to tune into one last station before dying out. They crouched together in silence as the ship passed overhead, its engines making the air shimmer. It was searching, hunting, not just for any survivors, it was looking for her. Ryan checked his scanner. No signal. That was odd. The ship was broadcasting something, but his system couldn't read it. It was like the ship was whispering to itself in a language older than computers. "What do they want from you?" he asked. The girl looked up. "They built me, but I wasn't what they expected." "What are you?" She looked straight into his eyes. Her pupils were not human, not entirely. There was a glow, faint but steady, like a dying star behind glass. "I'm a message," she said, "from them, for you." Ryan took a step back. "That's not creepy at all. They thought if you saw me, you'd surrender." "Surrender what?" "Your heart, your kindness, your fight." Ryan blinked. "They thought showing us a scared girl would make us give up?" He laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was insane. "Then they don't know us at all." The girl tilted her head. "That's what scares them." Suddenly, the scanner beeped. A signal, but not from the enemy. Something was buried beneath the sand. A hidden base, an old relay, a trap. He motioned to the girl. "Come on, we need shelter." They ran across the dunes. Wind howled around them. Sand stung their faces. Ryan's legs burned, but he didn't stop. He could feel time slipping through his fingers like the sand itself. Eventually, they reached a rusty hatch half buried in the ground. Ryan forced it open. Inside, it was pitch black, cold, ancient. They climbed down. The place smelled of oil, rust, and forgotten things. Lights flickered to life one by one as if waking from a long sleep. There were old screens, broken keyboards, and data cores full of dust. A forgotten human outpost. "Safe house," Ryan muttered. "Must have been part of the first wave." The girl walked slowly through the room, her fingers brushing along the old tech like she recognized it. Then she stopped. In the center of the room was a cracked mirror. She stared at her reflection. "That's not me," she whispered. Ryan stood beside her. "Maybe it is, maybe it's just you." She touched her face. "They mixed me with something human. But the rest?" Her voice shook. "The rest is war." Suddenly, one of the data cores beeped. A screen turned on, flickering with static. Then a face appeared. Not a human face. A smooth metal surface. Eyes like burning coal. An alien voice filled the room. "Subject 9X confirmed alive. Termination failed. Proceed with extraction protocol." The girl backed away. "They're watching," she said. "Even here." "Then we leave," Ryan said. But the door slammed shut behind them. The lights turned red. From one of the walls, a robotic figure unfolded. Spindly arms, blade-like fingers, and a single glowing red eye. A hunter drone. Old model. Brutal. "Efficient, stay behind me," Ryan shouted, pulling out his pulse rifle. The girl didn't move, she just stared at the drone. Her hands clenched into fists. The drone lunged. Ryan fired, a burst of plasma, but the drone dodged, fast, too fast. Then something strange happened. The girl raised her hand, and the drone froze. Sparks burst from its joints. Its red eye flickered. Ryan lowered his weapon. "What the hell?" The girl stepped forward. Her voice was calm now. "Stop," she said, and the drone dropped, dead. Silence. "What did you just do?" Ryan asked, breathing hard. "I spoke its language," she replied. "The same language they put in me. The one I'm not supposed to remember." She turned to him. "I don't know how much longer I can hold on to it. But I think they're using me to find you." "Why me?" "You're human," she said. "You still care. That makes you dangerous." Ryan laughed again, bitter, tired. "Great. Being a decent guy is a threat now?" The girl nodded. Then she looked back at the dead drone. "They're not just coming for me," she said. "They're coming for all of you." The code in her eyes. The dead drone still smoked in the corner. Ryan didn't trust it. He didn't trust anything anymore. Not the silent base around him, not the data logs in the wall, and especially not the girl who had just turned a killing machine into scrap with a single word. He watched her. She sat in the center of the room now, cross-legged, eyes closed. She looked calm, too calm, like the storm had passed inside her, or maybe was still gathering. His jacket hung off her shoulders like armor she hadn't earned, but he couldn't ignore what she'd done. "You short-circuited a military-grade hunter drone," he said, still gripping his pulse rifle. "Using your mind. That's not normal." "I'm not normal," she whispered. "I'm memory. That's all I am." "That's not a real answer." She opened her eyes. "Do you want the truth? Or do you want to stay sane? Lady, I've been through orbital fire, a station meltdown, and now I'm babysitting a girl who might be an alien USB stick with emotions. I think sanity left the chat 2 episodes ago." She blinked. "Episodes? Never mind," he sighed. "Just tell me what's going on. Really?" She stood up slowly and walked to a dusty terminal. When she placed her hand on the screen, it lit up. Not booted up. Woke up. Like it recognized her. Lines of ancient code scrolled across the monitor. Project Horizon. Status, terminated. Subject, 9X. DNA origin, Homo sapiens, Earth archive. Purpose, emotional key, neural interface. Ryan leaned closer. "Wait, that's English. Human code. You were made by us?" The girl nodded slowly. "A long time ago, but not by the people who lived here. By the ones who left." "You're saying you were created by humans who aren't even around anymore?" She nodded again. "The first ones. Explorers, scientists. They wanted to build a key. Something emotional. Something alive. To unlock what?" She looked at him. A weapon or a warning. No one was sure. Ryan stepped back. "You're a key to a weapon?" "No," she said. "I'm the weapon." The air felt heavier. Suddenly, a low ping echoed from the terminal. The screen flickered and displayed a map. Hundreds of red dots blinking across star systems. One of them pulsed brighter. Signal detected. Source. Earth vault. Ryan stared. "That's Earth." The girl turned toward him. "They've found it, the place I was supposed to go. The vault with the original code, my other half." "What happens if they get there first?" She didn't answer. "What happens if we get there first?" "I might remember what I really am," she said. "And that could be worse." Before Ryan could speak, the walls shook. A deep thrum echoed through the base. Not mechanical. Organic. The girl's eyes widened. "They found us." Ryan grabbed her arm. "Move!" The two bolted through the corridor, past sleeping terminals and ancient doors. The base began to break apart, the lights dimmed. From the shadows behind them, a sound crawled through the air like breathing, but too slow, too big. They burst out through the hatch, the red sun blinding them. Hovercrafts, black and silent, were descending from the sky like insects. No visible crew, no markings, just death. Ryan pulled out his last beacon flare and fired it into the sky. "Extraction team's gonna take 10 minutes, he muttered. "We don't have 10 minutes, the girl said. "Then stall them." She closed her eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then her body glowed faintly, just under the skin. Symbols danced across her fingertips like code crawling through her veins. One of the ships paused in midair. Then, exploded. Ryan ducked, stunned. "Okay, you're getting scarier." "I'm remembering," she said, her voice distant. "They didn't just give me code. They gave me something else." "What?" "A piece of someone." "What does that mean?" I think I was grown using the mind of a human who died a long time ago. A memory that wouldn't fade. Someone who loved humanity." The air burned as another ship crashed nearby. "Who was it?" Ryan asked. The girl turned toward him. "You." He blinked. "What?" "They took your DNA, your memories, your loyalty, from a version of you, from a timeline that didn't survive." Ryan's mouth went dry. "That's not possible." "I remember you dying," she said. "But not here, somewhere else, holding the line." Suddenly something clicked, a scar on her arm, the same place where he had one. The voice, the memory of his face, the emotional key. "Why me?" he whispered. "Because you didn't give up, not even when it was hopeless. You became a legend in their systems, a reminder that humans don't quit." From the sky, a third wave of drones descended. The girl clenched her fists. "But I'm not here to remind them anymore." "What are you here to do?" She looked up, her voice cold. "To make them regret they ever tried." Behind them, a human ship finally arrived. A clunky, patched-up freighter that looked like it had flown through hell and brought back souvenirs. Ryan grabbed her hand. "Time to go." They ran toward it as the world behind them burned. Inside, the ship as the hatch closed, Ryan turned to her. "Tell me your name," he said. "I don't have one," she replied. "But I remember the one you gave me." She paused, then smiled. Just a little. "You called me Hope." Humanity fights back. The stars were quiet again, but only for a moment. Hope sat in the corner of the freighter's crew bay, knees pulled to her chest, eyes glowing dimly as she stared at the metal floor. She wasn't speaking. Not since they left the desert moon. Not since she called herself a weapon. Ryan Hale stood nearby, watching the stars blur past the window. He had questions, too many, but only one that really mattered. What the hell had humanity done? The ship's AI flickered to life. It was old, glitchy, and sounded like it had been hit with a wrench one too many times. "Approaching Outpost Theta. Friendly territory and probably, Ryan muttered. "You've got one job, Tin Can." "Excuse me, I am a sophisticated navigation unit." "With the brain of a toaster," Ryan cut in. Hope looked up. "He's funny." Ryan turned to her. "You okay?" She nodded, but he saw the lie behind her eyes. There was something inside her, building, like a storm waiting to snap open the sky. They docked at Outpost Theta, a hidden rebel station built inside an asteroid field. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't clean. But it was home to the last people in the galaxy who weren't afraid to punch an alien empire in the teeth. Ryan walked off the ship with Hope in tow, keeping her close. The station crew stared at them. Whispers followed. "That's her?" "The girl from the signal." "Is she human?" "She doesn't blink." The base commander, a scarred woman named Tessa Vorn, met them at the hangar. "I got your distress signal," she said. "Didn't expect you to bring me the key to the end of the galaxy." Ryan crossed his arms. "You want to say that a little louder? I think Saturn didn't hear you." Tessa looked at Hope. "Is it true? She can tap into their tech?" "She is their tech," Ryan said. "But she's more than that." Hope stepped forward. "They built me to infiltrate, to observe, to study emotions. But something happened. I changed." Tessa raised an eyebrow. "Changed how?" Hope hesitated. Then she reached out her hand. A broken monitor nearby sparked to life. It started showing footage, old damaged video logs, some from alien ships, some from Earth, and then one from Project Horizon. A lab, a girl in a tank. Her eyes closed. Scientists arguing. She's learning too fast. She's adapting emotionally. It's not supposed to feel. Shut it down. No. Let her see. Let her understand what they truly are. A pause. Let her see what it means to be human. The video cut off. The room was silent. Tessa whispered, "They gave you emotions." Hope nodded, and it broke their control. Then alarms blared. Red lights spun. Enemy fleet incoming. Interceptors deploying. 5 minutes until contact. Tessa ran to the command console. "They tracked you here." Hope's voice was quiet. "No. They tracked what's inside me. I'm still linked to them. Somewhere in... There's a beacon, I can't shut it off." "Then we're screwed," Tessa snapped. "No," Hope said, her voice steady now. "You're not." She stepped forward. Her glow grew stronger. "I'm done running." Ryan grabbed her arm. "What are you saying?" "I've been afraid of what's inside me. But that fear? It's not mine. It was programmed. I'm not afraid anymore." Her eyes glowed brighter. Then the floor beneath her cracked slightly from a pressure pulse. The air shimmered. Hope wasn't trembling anymore. Ryan stared. "What are you doing?" "I'm waking up." Then the enemy fleet arrived. Ships dark as obsidian dropped out of hyperspace, covering the stars. Not just drones this time, carriers. Destroyers. And something else. A large spherical vessel in the center, almost alive in design. It pulsed like a heart. The Mind Core. Alien Command Center. No one had ever seen it up close until now. Tessa's crew panicked. "We can't hold them. We're outgunned." But Hope stood still. "They didn't come here to destroy you," she said. "They came for me, so I'm going to give them what they want." Rian moved to stop her. "Hope, if you go out there," she turned to him. "I'm not doing this to die. I'm doing this to fight back." Hope reached into her memory, her body lighting up like a supernova. Symbols ran across her arms, legs, neck. Her hair floated in zero gravity as her pulse synced with something deep inside the station's old systems. Doors opened. Power surged. Suddenly, the station's ancient defense weapons powered on, systems that had been dead for decades. Hope looked up at the screen showing the Mind Core. "You called me your creation," she whispered. "But I am your mistake." She launched herself into space. No suit, no ship, just light and fire. The enemy ships moved to intercept. But they hesitated. They scanned her. They recognized her. And they were afraid. Hope raised her arms. And the enemy fleet's AI began to stutter. Drones froze in place. Lasers misfired. Ships started to veer off course. Tessa's jaw dropped. "She's rewriting their systems. She's taking control," Ryan whispered. Then came the twist. The Mind Core sent a transmission, not to Hope, to Ryan. "Commander Hale, your DNA signature has been confirmed. Initiating protocol, recall. You were one of us once. You helped build her." Ryan staggered back. No, I didn't." "You did. In another life, another timeline. Your memories were archived, and now, awakened." Tessa stared at him. "What are they saying?" Ryan's voice shook. "I think I didn't just inspire her creation. I was part of it." Hope turned in space, hearing the words. For a second, she looked like she might fall apart. Then her voice rang out, loud, clear, and human. "I don't care what you made me from, I choose who I am now." She turned toward the Mind Core, and she attacked. Light burst from her like a supernova, crashing into the alien ship. Systems collapsed. Signals burned out. The Mind Core's shell cracked. Hope's body began to break, but her voice remained calm. "Tell them," she whispered through the comms. "Tell them we're not afraid." And then, silence. The lab that lied silence drifted through space. Like a ghost, the enemy fleet was gone, shattered, disabled, fleeing. And Hope? Hope was floating in the black, curled into herself, glowing faintly, like a dying star clinging to its last breath. Ryan Hale stood in the med bay of Outpost Theta, watching through a reinforced glass window as they pulled her inside. Every system in the station had shut down the moment she unleashed her power. Even now, lights flickered like they were scared of her. And maybe they were. Maybe he was too. Tessa Vaughan stepped beside him. She saved us. He nodded slowly. Yeah, and almost tore a hole in the galaxy doing it. Tessa leaned against the wall. You still believe she's just a girl? Ryan didn't answer. His mind was spinning. The voice from the mind core hadn't been wrong. Somewhere in some version of history, he'd helped build her. Or at least, some part of him did. Some version of him who believed turning human emotion into code was a good idea. He didn't remember it, but she did. The way she'd looked at him out there, not like a soldier. Not like a creator. Like family. 3 hours later, Hope was stable. Sort of. She sat up in the recovery chamber, eyes dim, face pale. The power that had burned through her seemed to be hibernating. But Ryan could still feel it, like standing next to a live wire. You should be resting, he said. I don't need rest, she replied softly. I need answers. Well, good news. We're going to get some. He tossed her a data pad. It buzzed in her hand. What is this? She asked. Rian crossed his arms. Coordinates to the original Horizon lab. Hope's head snapped up. The one that made me? Ryan nodded. Still hidden. Buried in a rogue asteroid. Off the records. Forgotten. Or so they thought. Hope gripped the pad tighter. We're going? We have to. We can't win a war with half the truth. She looked away. You may not like what we find. He stared at her. That makes two of us. The Horizon lab was a place that should not have existed. The asteroid it hid inside was hollowed out like a corpse. The entrance was sealed behind layers of encryption that only Hope could open. When she placed her hand on the stone wall, it cracked. Not like metal, like something organic. Like the lab didn't want to wake up. Inside, it was silent. Dust covered every surface. Old machines lined the walls like frozen skeletons. Lights flickered reluctantly. Some didn't come on at all. Then the log started to play. Hope walked through the corridors slowly, each step echoing like a heartbeat in a crypt. Ryan followed, his hand on his sidearm, though he doubted a gun would help here. Screens blinked to life as they passed. Footage played. Not security cams, not test videos, memories, Hope as a child. Or something like a child. Crying in a glass chamber, touching the walls, smiling at scientists, then screaming. One log showed her strapped to a chair, electrodes all over her skin, her eyes wide, voice trembling. You said I could have a name. You said I could be. The scientists didn't answer her. They just took notes. Deeper inside, the truth finally hit. They entered the heart of the lab, a central chamber where walls were lined with data vats. Genetic blueprints floated in liquid tanks. Brain scans flickered on glass panels. Ryan stared at one marked Subject 9X. It was her. Hope stood silently, watching her own origin story play like a horror film. A recording started. A man's voice. Calm, confident, familiar. Rian froze. It was his voice. This is Commander Hale, logging day 122 of the Horizon Directive. We've begun integrating emotional logic patterns from the neural archive of the Fallen Earth campaign. Subject 9X is responding faster than expected. She's already showing attachment behavior, empathy, but also defiance. She dreams. We didn't plan for dreams. She calls me father. The recording stopped. The silence that followed was worse than the message. Hope didn't move. Ryan took a step back as if hearing his own ghost. I didn't know, he whispered. That version of me. She loved you, Hope said quietly. Even after everything. She didn't understand why you left her. Ryan swallowed hard. I didn't. I mean, he did. I didn't know she existed. Hope touched the glass. Do you think it matters? He didn't answer. She turned to him. Do you think I'm dangerous? He looked at her. Really looked. And saw not just a weapon or a glitch in the galaxy. He saw a person. Terrified. Powerful. And trying so hard not to become what they made her to be. I think you're the only one who still knows what being a human means, he said. That made her smile. Just a little. But then a sound echoed through the chamber. Footsteps. Not theirs. Tessa's voice crackled through the comms. Ryan, we've got incoming. Someone else found the lab. The screen shut off. Hope's glow dimmed. The lights went out. Something was here. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward. Not alien. Not machine. Human. An older woman, scarred, with cold eyes and a calm expression. Hello, Subject 9X, she said. Welcome home. Hope froze. Dr. Elra, she whispered. The woman nodded. I built you. I named you. And now I'm here to correct my mistake. Ryan raised his gun. You must be kidding. Dr. Elra smiled slightly. I'm not here to kill her. I'm here to activate her. Hope backed away. No, I won't let you. You don't have a choice, Elra said, lifting a control device. You never did. That's the irony of artificial emotion. It feels real until we press the button. She pressed it. Hope screamed. The room pulsed. Ryan fired, but Elra was gone. A teleport shimmer. Hope collapsed, light flaring, eyes wild. She turned it back on, she gasped. What? The programming, the lock. I can't stop it. I'm losing. Her voice broke. Ryan, if I change, don't let me hurt anyone. Please. The choice Hope was breaking, not just in body, but in spirit, in identity. She lay on the cold floor of the lab, light sparking from her skin like static fire. Her breathing was ragged. Her pupils flickered with alien code, and in her voice the warmth was fading. Ryan, I can't stop it. Ryan Hale knelt beside her, pulse racing. It's okay. He lied. I've got you. She clutched his arm, her grip stronger than it should have been. No, you don't. Her voice distorted at the edges, a cold tone weaving through her words like a second voice hiding behind hers. The programming Dr. Elra had reactivated wasn't just a trigger. It was an overwrite, a slow corruption. Hope wasn't being shut down. She was being rewritten. Above them in orbit, Outpost Theta sent a priority signal. Tessa's voice came through, tense. Fleet intel just picked up movement near Earth. The mind core's back up. Fleet is activating. They know she's still alive. Rian tapped his comm. Then we don't have much time. Correction, you don't. We're voting to destroy the Horizon Lab from orbit, wipe it all, clean slate. Don't you dare, Ryan snapped. We can't risk her falling into enemy hands. She's not a weapon. She's every weapon we've ever feared. Click. The signal ended. Ryan stared at Hope. Her breathing slowed. The glow dimmed. For a moment, she looked at peace, but her eyes were still glitching. Random lines of alien language replacing human thought. He remembered what she told him. If I change, don't let me hurt anyone. And now she was changing. Hope slowly sat up. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, like light was leaking through her bones. I can feel them, she whispered. The enemy fleet. Their thoughts. Their orders, they're inside me. Ryan nodded. Then we cut them out. Hope shook her head. No, you don't get it. She looked at him, tears brimming. They're not invading me. They're welcoming me back. Ryan felt the floor tilt under him. The weight of that sentence nearly crushed him. You're not one of them. I wasn't supposed to be, she said. But my code, my mind, it's built on their systems. What if I was always meant to go back? No, Ryan said, stepping closer. You're not their weapon. You're our hope. Literally. You chose that name. She smiled sadly. You think names can stop fate? No, he said, pulling a small device from his belt. But maybe this can. Hope recognized it immediately. The kill switch. A last resort shutdown key for Project Horizon, designed to wipe Subject 9X's core programming if she ever lost control. Hope backed away. Where did you get that? Dr. Elra dropped it when she fled, he said. Guess she didn't want to carry it in case she needed you. Are you going to use it? Ryan hesitated. That was the choice. Destroy Hope, end the risk, save the galaxy, maybe, or trust her. Trust the girl made of code, emotion, memory, and war. The girl who had asked him for a jacket and cried like a child. He looked her in the eyes. Tell me, Hope, if I give you control, will you fight them? Hope stood up, trembling. I don't know, she said. But if I give up now, what was the point of surviving? Then her glow shifted, no longer glitching, burning. She overrode the signal. Her eyes cleared. The alien code faded. Her voice, human again, I choose who I am, she whispered. The kill switch sparked in Ryan's hand. He stared at it, then threw it to the ground. I trust you, he said. And just like that, the lab lit up. Hope's body surged with energy, not chaotic, but controlled, balanced. The girl was still there. The weapon was hers to command. A new signal lit up across the star maps. The Earth Vault was opening. Tessa's voice came through again. Ryan, what did you just do? The Earth Vault is activating. Enemy fleets are jumping in. You wanted a weapon, he replied. He looked at Hope. Now you've got one. Hours later, Hope stood on the bridge of the freighter. Earth loomed ahead. Blue, battered, beautiful. The vault was somewhere beneath its surface, hidden for centuries. Inside was the original code of humanity's greatest invention, or its greatest mistake. Hope wasn't sure which one she was. You sure about this? Ryan asked. She nodded. If I go in, I might not come back. Then I'm going with you. She smiled. You're stubborn. You're terrifying. Fair. The ship entered low orbit. Drones swarmed. Enemy vessels waited in the dark. Hope walked to the hatch. Wait, Ryan said. He pulled something from his jacket. His jacket. He placed it over her shoulders. Last time I gave this to you, he said, you cried. Hope blinked, touched it gently. This time, she said, I'll make them cry. Then she leapt. As Hope dropped through the clouds, the Earth Vault opened like an ancient flower. Inside, machines older than memory, systems powered by emotion itself. She entered the vault, and everything went quiet. Then, lights. Memories. Her face. Again and again from different timelines, different versions, always afraid, always alone, but not this time. This time she was angry. She walked to the core and spoke. I am not your tool. I am not your warning. I am hope. The core pulsed. Across the galaxy, enemy fleets froze. Their AIs crashed. Their orders failed. Their minds silenced. Hope rewrote the code. Not just hers. Theirs. The war ended not with a bang, but with a whisper. A choice. Her choice. Tell them we were kind. The Earth Vault pulsed beneath the surface of the planet. Old tech, older truths. It had been sealed for centuries, guarded not by weapons but by one terrifying requirement. Emotion only. Someone, capable of understanding compassion, grief, love, and fear, could open it. And now, it was open. Hope stood at the center of it, surrounded by holograms of Earth's first pioneers, digital ghosts left behind to speak when the world couldn't. They spoke now. "You were our last idea," one voice said. "We built you in desperation, not to fight, to feel. We knew our enemies would never understand emotion, but maybe they would fear it." Hope's eyes flickered. "They did more than fear it. They tried to erase it," another voice spoke. "But it survived. In you." Above Earth, in orbit, Ryan stood on the freighter bridge, watching chaos unfold on every screen. The Mind Core had arrived. The real one this time. Not a ship, but a structure. A living, thinking mass of dark tech and ancient intelligence, shaped like a twisting tower of metal and shadow, floating above Earth like a god judging a colony of ants. Tessa's voice cracked through the comms. "It's sending. Without a pulse, and it's overriding everything. Defense systems, AI, nav routes, hell, it's affecting our thoughts." Ryan winced as static buzzed in his skull. He could feel something pushing into his mind. Not words. Questions. "Why do you fight? Why do you mourn? Why? Do you hurt yourself to save others?" he answered with a middle finger to the sky. Then silence, and a voice, one he'd heard once before. "You were part of us, Hale. One of the originals. You helped design her, and now you will witness the correction." The Mind Core sent out a beam. Target. The vault. Hope stood still as the energy from the beam carved through rock and earth. Above her, her glow intensified. The vault's machines whirred to life. One last system clicked online. Emotional core sync. 2 lights blinked. 1 organic signature required. 1 synthetic. Hope stepped into the sync chamber and then paused. The screen flashed. Missing link. Human memory required. She didn't hesitate. She reached through the vault's mainframe and found it, Ryan's memory. Not just from this life, but from all the lives, thousands of them, thousands of versions of Ryan Hale, across timelines and simulations, uploaded by scientists, twisted by war, remixed by enemy tech. Every one of them had one thing in common. They didn't give up. They didn't stop fighting, they chose kindness, even when it cost them everything. She gasped and smiled. "I understand now." The Mind Core pierced the vault ceiling. Black drones swarmed in, dripping from its body like venom. Hope turned and walked forward. She didn't run. She didn't scream. She glowed. Drones moved toward her but froze midair. Hope looked at them, and they stopped existing. Behind her, the vault's systems began transmitting, across every frequency, into every ship, every world. Hope's voice echoed across the stars. "I was made by humans, then broken by those who feared them. But I chose to remember who I was. I chose to feel. And I chose to protect what made us different. You asked why we hurt for others. It's because we love them." The vault's core expanded, energy crackled. The Mind Core began to shake. Inside the control room, Tessa screamed into the mic. "What the hell is she doing? She's going to blow the whole vault." Ryan didn't move. He knew. She wasn't going to destroy it. She was going to share it. The core wasn't a weapon. It was a mirror. A pulse spread from the Earth vault. Not of fire, but of memory. The emotions Hope carried. Grief, joy, fear, rage, compassion. Every one of them surged into the minds of the enemy. Their perfect logic fractured. Their cold calculations crumbled. The Mind Core screamed not a sound, a vibration, a feeling. For the first time in its existence, it felt pain, because it finally understood what it meant to be human, and it could not handle it. Above Earth, the Mind Core began to collapse. It didn't explode. It unraveled. A dying, God losing its last thought. Every drone went dark. Every ship dropped from orbit. The war, in an instant, ended. But the vault, still still shining. Hope, standing in the core, fell to her knees, her energy fading. Ryan rushed in through the cracked floor, above, sliding to her side. "You did it," he whispered. She smiled weakly. "I didn't win," she said. "I just made them feel. That's enough." Her voice cracked. "I think I'm out of time." Ryan held her hand. "No, stay. We'll fix you." She looked at him, tears welled in her eyes again, just like on Station 9. "You already did." Pause. "Ryan, if someone finds this place later, if they ask what happened here..." She coughed. Her glow flickered. "Tell them." She closed her eyes. "Tell them we were kind." And then, she was gone. No sound, no light, just stillness. The vault sealed behind them, Hope's light now part of its code, part of its story. Forever. Across the galaxy, silence reigned, not from fear, but from peace. The war was over. Epilogue. 1 year later, children played, in the old ruins of Station 9, now a memorial garden. On a stone monument was carved, "Here lies the end of fear, the beginning of understanding." She was made to destroy, but she chose to feel. And just below that, "Tell them we were kind." Hope Ryan Hale, older now, a little more broken, stood beside the stone. He wore his jacket again, patched, up, battered, but still warm. A little girl ran past him, laughing. She had silver hair. He turned to the sky where stars blinked gently in the night, and he smiled.